welcome back. It is Danny.pod. Oh my word. Off the bat of my Danny's dating pod, I just needed a minute. There was so much traction and so much interaction. I have been so busy just catching up and I needed a week off. So I'm back, but wow. Who would have thought honesty would have been such a big eye-opener of a thing? And I'm not going to lie, it was definitely like therapy. I was sitting there and I posted that pod at about 3 o'clock two Tuesdays ago. And by about 5 o'clock, I was just fluffing around in the old podcast little platform thing because a few people have asked me, how far's the reach and everything else. And I just thought, I'll just have a wee look. Oh my gosh, 2,000 people had downloaded and listened to that pod by 5 p.m. That's off the chain. I mean, back when I first started this podcast, it sort of flew for 6 months and then it leveled out. And I was like, okay, keep the audience interested. And then, I don't know, I kind of reclused a little bit. So it is really lovely to have such great support around something so sensitive. And I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. What was really interesting was my friends and family that were listening to it. And I suppose for people that have notifications turned on in Spotify or whatever, it came up on a lot of people's phones. And the people that don't necessarily check in on Instagram to see what the next topic is going to be, it just came up Danny.dating. And I had so many messages just oh my gosh, I'm listening to that. And a lot of friends and family was pinpointing who I was talking about. And it was really lovely. They were like, oh, you talked about him, but you didn't talk about him. And I thought, well, at the end of the day, if I'm not mentioning that person, they're not worth bringing up. I mean, a lot of people were like, what happened to that guy that always wore his hat his baseball cap to the bedroom? And I was like, oh my God, I forgot about him. But yeah, there was a lot of awkwardness around, just how much of a lack of dating history I have, which is quite funny because last Thursday I had a guy on my couch. He came around, I don't know, it was like a lunch thing. And he was like, oh, I'm learning a lot about you, but I'm finding that you're quite untouched, like an Asian's turn signal. And I still am laughing. He was trying to be so funny, but somber as well. But I mean, I guess, yeah, look, I really have no history in that sense. And I said to him, I've applied for Married at First Sight, Farmer Wants a Wife, and The Bachelorette with no success because Danny doesn't come with baggage. And he even said to me, oh, why didn't you fake it? Why didn't you write some bullshit story? And I said, because you don't want to go on TV and then someone thinks that you've done something and you really haven't. I mean, just to get on TV. I don't want to be that type of person. I am who I am. So, yeah, it's been a real whirlwind. I've been laughing about it for 2 weeks now. You actually did that. 2024, you actually talked about your shitty fucking dating life, which is now just taken off, and I cannot be more proud of myself. The confidence came from within, and that's why I decided today I was going to do a pod on perspective. What is the perspective of why this is all happening? And look, I Googled it. A perspective is a particular attitude towards a way of regarding something as in a point of view. It's always, the depth and height and release of a position. And I just cracked up because perspective is the way individuals see the world. It comes from anyone's personal point of view and is shaped by life experiences, values, state of mind, assumptions that they bring into a situation, and a whole range of other things. So I don't know what really happened, but I feel like after I went to Hawaii and came back, my whole perspective on everything in general just changed. It was it was leveled up and it hasn't stopped. And I've been saying it for a long time now. I don't know where it came from. So just kind of releasing that negative energy and everything else. And I don't want to go into the woo-woo again because that was a strange podcast. Why I sort of bring this up now is because mentioning that 2025 is on the horizon and how we could obviously change our perspective to enable much greater things to come into our lives, there's something happening on August the 8th, which is massive. And I'm only bringing this up because a year ago I did this. So what it is it's called the Lionsgate Portal. It's an annual cosmic event on August the 8th because, I think it's the 8th of the 8th is like an infinity date. It was marked by the alignment of Earth, star Sirius, and the sun in Leo. Let's not go into that. This alignment is believed to enhance spiritual awakening, providing an opportunity for setting intentions, manifesting desires, and personal transformation. So a year ago, I jotted down on a piece of paper 5 things that I wanted to have happen in a year. Folded that bit of paper up, thought about it for like 3 minutes, just silently in my brain, like, okay, these are 5 things that I want to have come into my life. And then I hid the bit of paper. It was about a month ago that a friend of mine who also did this, she came to me and she says, have you still got your bit of paper? And I was like, oh shit, yep. Had to go find it. And then I thought someone maybe had found it and moved it because I was like, surely I didn't hide it there. Anyway, I haven't opened it. I've simply just got it. But the funny thing is that my godmum, she's turning 60 on August 8, and I brought this up to her a year ago and said, look, this is what I'm going to do. We had this big chat about it. She was fully across what the Lionsgate portal was. And I think it's a generational thing. Like, I don't think people of like my, 30s would understand quite so deeply just yet. But I was thinking about it, and I kind of think that maybe 3, if not 4 of the 5 things have come true. And it just blows my mind because honestly, you just can't write the book about this. It's crazy. I think once I did it, it was just like this release of, what's the personal transformation going to look like? What could I do to level up everything in my life? I think even it came down to obviously having this podcast even reaching 250,000 people. And I've sort of looked at the statistics and I'm pretty sure that it's close, but I don't think it's hit that just yet. And we've got like a couple of days to go. So I don't know what's going to happen. But, they were such goals as like the pod reaching that far. It was about myself, financial stuff, career stuff. I don't really think I touched on love life. So this has really come out of left field for me. But it's been like the best, yeah. I don't know. I feel like it's just leveled up in every aspect, and I don't know if it's because of that. So I'm putting it out there. August 8th, I want everyone that's listening to the pod to jot down 5 things on a bit of paper. Think about those things for like 3 to 5 minutes. Just absorb the fact that you want this to have happen in 1 year's time. And fold the bit of paper up, hide it somewhere, and then just don't think about it. I might come back into your lives in a year's time and just re-mention this and make sure that everyone brings their papers out because everyone's got a different idea and opinion as to what they want to have happen. It could be you want to win lotto. I've always said this, you don't ask the universe for lotto. You simply say, you want to come into money or find $100 or something that's really like minimal, and then all of a sudden it becomes really obvious. It's almost like the other day when I was thinking about new stuff to think about manifestation and stuff. It's like when you think about a red car and then all you can see is red cars. You think about having $100 in your hand and all of a sudden there's 100 of something or 100 of dollar coins or whatever. It's not necessarily the $100 note, but it becomes very obvious. How else can I really explain this? Well, with my dating stuff that's happening right now, I've been saying, lightning doesn't strike twice. And it's not like a negative thought on this whole thing. It's just whatever happens with, when I go out and I meet people and everything else, I always feel like the following weekend, it's not going to happen again. And it has been. And I'm just sitting here and I'm like, this never happens. It's kind of like when you expect a text message from your love that you just want to hear from. A watched pot never boils. So you don't watch your phone and then all of a sudden you'll get a text message. These are the things that I've been thinking about for like a year now. And it cracks me up because, I don't know, there's just so many exciting aspects. And I have to give myself credit to, my perspective on supporting and being myself has just changed everything. I am obsessed right now with being super independent. I've been making some crack up decisions and I'm thinking, why did I do that? But I'm not hurting anyone. I'm just having a lot of fun right now. And I think for such a long time I was following the crowd, not being like a people pleaser because they are the worst, but more so like just going with the flow. And I think that when you take a step back and you make decisions, like for me, it's, am I going to go home right now or am I going to go home in 5 hours' time? Well, more often than not lately, it's been the latter, but that's up to me and my decision of being independent. Can I justify going home in 5 hours' time or should I go home now? What potentially will happen in 5 hours, Whereas more often than not, I kind of lately, a couple of years ago, I was getting a bit nervous about what was going to happen. Should I stay out later? Rah, 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 rah. So I don't know. I've just got some confidence from somewhere and decided that, I'm going to go get lost in this little small pincy town of Cromwell. And I have been at some really random house parties lately and met some amazing people, made some bad choices. But honestly, I am having the best time of my life. I look back and I'm like, why were those walls up? Where did they even come from? Why was I feeling so belittled in every aspect of dating? It cracks me up now because I am actively like pursuing someone and it's just been the most exciting month of my life. Even to the point where he's coming to my house now, he's delivering coffee. It's like, we're catching up. I actually sent a message to him the other night and it was like, something like the door's always unlocked. And then the next morning at about 6:15, he messaged and he was like, would you be nervous if I walked in right now? And I was like, oh shit. I love the fact that he's like forward thinking and it cracks me up because there's days where I look at, things that are going on around me and I think, I can't find someone that matches my level of confidence. And then I laugh because I'm truly not confident at all. I have to hype myself up in certain aspects of everything. But for some reason, I just have this real built up confidence and support system where everyone's just like, you go, Danny, you go and you enjoy yourself. Who knows? Who cares? Just have fun. Even to the point where my mum, she's like, where are you picking up from? Where are you right now? And I've been dropping these little pins on like WhatsApp, like, I'm here. And then the other night I was thinking, I actually wasn't where the pin was. But yeah, it's just been such a ride. I really want everyone just to twist their perspective on like everything to do with what, the future looks like. Are you being your whole self right now? Can you do something more to make yourself be more independent, confident? Are you lacking in a support system where you feel like the toxicity of what's going on around you is just dragging you down? For me, getting rid of 16 to 20 people off my social media pre me leaving for Hawaii was the weight off my shoulders that I just didn't know I needed. And now it's like, I am so happy. It's unbelievable. I have so much trust in my own self-worth. It's just exciting. I was only talking about it the other day about, I will not settle for just anyone. So the fact is that even though I'm putting myself out there, my self-worth is so much more important. I look back at everyone that's, going through all this type stuff with me at the minute, especially you guys listening on the podcast. And it just cracks me up that this is where we're at. Like, if this is now, what's going to happen in a year if this is what I'm learning to do? And this is how I'm putting it out there for you guys to change your perspective. I'm so excited for the future. Like, it's unbelievable. Anyway, I just wanted everyone to feel like they are uplifted and supported by myself. And if you want to reach out and see, exactly what I've been doing, it's not much, but I honestly would say putting things on pen to paper can just change your brain and, reconfigure exactly what you intend on doing and go for it. Go for it. You have got nothing to lose. And that's exactly how I feel about my dating life right now. Who cares? I have nothing to lose. But anyway, we are off to Nelson Thursday, for my godmum's 60th birthday, and I am very excited. However, she would be a cracker to have on the podcast because if I take you right back to when we first met my godmum, I was in kindergarten. She has 2 kids, mum has 2 kids. They were both teachers at the kindies, so we got along really well, and it was exactly that. They only met through the fact that they had kids at kindy. I think both my mum and my godmum lost their parents, their mums at very young ages, so I think there was a real big connection there for the support network. But she's the craziest lady, and honestly, my mum is red-haired, my brother's red-haired, I'm brunette, so looking at my godmum, sometimes I think, oh, I've been born into the wrong family because she's so much more like me, and sometimes we get on the piss and she's like, oh, you are the daughter that I never had because you're super outgoing, exactly like she is, whereas my mum's an introvert, very much so, and her daughter, my godmum's daughter, she loves wearing black, she's like a little bit of an introvert herself, keeps to her own, rah-de-rah. But I think, honestly, it's just come down to the fact that when we were younger, my godmum just gave me all the, praise and acceptance to be who I wanted to be. So, yeah, I'm leaving the bubble this weekend and I'm heading up to Nelson. And I'm so excited to get, just in my party mode. I'm hiring a car. We're staying at a hotel. Like, it's just going to be the break in winter that I absolutely need and I cannot be more excited about. I might take the microphone, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit on the fence about bringing her on the pod because she has known me since I was 4 years old. Easy, 4 years old. I remember it clearly. I was just, about to start primary school. And her son is born 2 weeks after me. So, yeah, we were definitely on the fence of, just starting primary school. And I don't know. There'd be a lot of stories. I can't think of any off the bat, quite honestly, because I think I bury them deep inside. I would say I have a lot of stories about her. She's one to dress up for the Rocky Horror Picture Show. She'll always, get into theme for a theme party. I definitely think that my taste in food comes from her because she's very creative. She also, in the 90s, owned a singles dating club called Born Romantic in Christchurch. It was the most amazing experience, but unfortunately I was very young at the time, so I never really got to enjoy it. She would host these amazing parties, and the next day when they would clean up these venues, me and my brother would go with my mum and obviously help out, but they'd always have the karaoke set up. So from her, I've definitely learned to pick up the microphone at the pub every now and then and have a bit of a sing, and I don't even care. That's just who I am. But her level of confidence just oozes out of me. She's really special, and I'm really looking forward to seeing her and spending a couple of days up in the top of the South Island. But yeah, honestly, it's just, I wanted to pop on today and just relish on all the goodness of how everything's been panning out lately. I don't know, it's crazy. And my good friend, she also finished the 75 hard, and she's jetted off on a luxurious destination holiday, exactly what I did. I honestly recommend it. And for everyone that's still on the fence, come on, you can do this. It's not the worst. I had dinner the other night with a friend, and he was saying, God, how do you even do 75 days without alcohol? I can't even do 75 hours. And I was like, yeah, wow. If you can't even do 75 hours, there's problems here. I mean, I think we just depend on alcohol a little bit too much lately. So I have kind of been turning to it a little bit because of confidence reasons. But I don't know. Now that this guy started coming around in the morning and coming around for lunches and all sorts of weird shit, I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I actually said to him on Friday night, there's nothing that gets you out of bed faster in the morning than a pet throwing up on the carpet or a guy coming to your front door. Oh my gosh. I know that we're in the middle of the Olympics right now, you guys, but last week I feel like I ran the gauntlet. Even though I was taking the week off and I was trying to have some downtime, no, your girl was definitely doing all the things. I mean, I was rushing. I was waking up at 6 a.m. and I was like, right, what's happening? Where do I need to be? Jumping in the shower at stupid hours, and obviously just making sure that the dishes were done and the house was clean. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is the hardest thing is dating, when you don't want to have that, side let down that you're like, the house wasn't tidy. I mean, I love just relaxing, so obviously it was weighing on my mind a little bit. There was a fair amount of melatonin being taken last week because I was not sleeping. And it's funny because like this year, and obviously like stepping into doing digital marketing and making a bit of money and everything else, I wasn't sleeping for like 3 months because it was exciting to wake up because you'd been paid in the night because someone had brought something. Now it's like I'm excited to wake up because I'm like, when am I going to see him next? Is he going to turn up with coffee, or am I going to have to like brush my hair, brush my teeth? Like, what's going on? So yeah, that's 2 things this year that have, kicked me around a little bit. So what will be the third? I actually am going to Christchurch on the way back from Nelson to test drive a car. My mum is like, you cannot buy a car sight unseen again because I don't want to hear the end of it. You keep going on about how you've got blind spots in the car that you're in at the minute, so you've got to test drive this before you buy it. I'm not having you put it on the back of a Transformer down to Cromwell without you friggin' being in this vehicle first. So there's that. But yeah, I am looking forward to obviously having a shiny new toy if that's what's going to happen. And it's honestly one of those things that you look back and you think, 7 months ago, I really wouldn't have had any idea that this was going to have happened. But that's just what's going on. So anyway, sorry, I had to mute that. I was coughing. Just reeling back as to the perspective theme of this podcast. I want everyone to write down their 5 Lionsgate portal things that they want to have happen in the next year. I'm excited for everyone. My 5 are going to be crazy off the chain ones because I'm like, yes, I need a bit of spontaneous weird shit in my life. I felt like I played it safe last year, and weirdly enough, I think they all came true, but I want to challenge that a little bit. I want to challenge myself. I'm so driven at the minute. It's crazy. But obviously we want to have a really clear, concise perspective for going into this, and I want everyone to put down anything that does not serve you. There's only 2 times this year so far that I've done things I didn't want to do. I had no choice in the matter. So the first one was going in for knee surgery. Didn't want to do it. I hated everyone that day. But I did it, and now I'm just like reaping the benefits of doing so. I'm physically fit and able, and I'm super obsessed with how I am just, smashing out my own goals at the moment, health-wise. And the second one was flying back from Brisbane to Queenstown after Hawaii because my leg did not cope with the altitude and freaked out, and I just burst into tears, and I thought, my world's ending. So those are the 2 things that I didn't want to have to do this year that I had to put one foot in front of the other and do. Everything else is exactly what I've wanted to do, and if anything has come along that I have thought, nah, that's not for me, I've just decided to put that shit down, put it in the back of my mind, move forward. My perspective is clear on the matter. I'm like, nah. Even to the point where I've had fights with my cousin and I'm like, you're annoying me. I've just put down the anger and I've walked away. I'm like, this is not going to upset my brain power at the moment, honestly. My perspective is healthy, happy, moving forward. I don't want any negativity or toxicity. It's just not for me. I'm leaving the crowd. I'm trusting my self-worth, and I have my own self to be so proud of. I've lifted myself up from the lowest of lows to the highest of highs. I am obviously being free and opening my brain and my mind to everything. I just want like an abundance of weird, exciting stuff to come along because I'm worthy of like any sort of challenge. And if this is what it takes, I'm open. Like, fucking bring it on. Like, I laughed when I ended that last pod about my bingo card for 2024. I was like, I could get married this year. Honestly, I'm not even afraid of it. Like, I don't even care. I don't think I moved that fast, though, to be quite honest. Weirder things have happened. Honestly, I can't. You can't wipe the smile from my face right now. It's just the most amazing experiences. I don't even know what's going on. By the way, I still haven't even booked that solo trip. Honestly, I get to the weekend and I get super excited, and then I'm like, shit, didn't do anything like booking my trip or anything. But it's in my brain. I have to do it. I want to go and see the world from my own perspective. However, if I start seeing this guy like more permanently, what's going to happen? Is he going to come too? Oh, I'm not prepared. Oh dear. Anyway, this might just be a short, sweet pod. Honestly, I just want everyone to clear their minds, have a great perspective, rolling into 2025 Lionsgate portal. And let's see what happens, eh? I don't even know. I'm scared. Hold my hand. Anyway, take care, and I will see you in a week. Bye for now.